Well, we're at the historic Craighead house with Steve Sirls. We're going to tell you some incredible stories about one of the most fascinating gardens in Nashville. The house is fascinating and the garden is fascinating as well.
It is, Meryl. You're exactly right. Both have great history and great bones.
This garden has been here for over 200 years. What's the story of the property?
Well, this garden has been here for 17 years, but there has been some sort of garden here for over 206 years because that's when the house was built. So people had gardens, people changed, people moved, but some sort of planting has always gone on here.
So you're a landscape designer. Of course, you'd be able to do some incredible things with this home and with the gardens, but it wasn't this way when you found it.
No, it certainly wasn't. There had been many different things planted here, and some of the boxwood and some of the trees, but everything else had just sort of gone back to a natural state. So what I had the opportunity to do was create a garden.
You did. Quite an incredible garden. Let's stop here just for a minute and tell me about these beautiful borders that you've got going here. This is your sun garden.
This is one of the hottest gardens on the property, and obviously all the color. This color lasts pretty much through October, and it's really a delight every day to come out here and see what has bloomed and what's going on.
It's all perennials.
All perennials, very few exceptions. The shrubs are certainly not perennials, but yes, this comes back every year. That's
what are the
nice
stars
part
of the garden right now?
Right now, the iris, the Japanese iris, the bearded iris, and the peonies.
They're gorgeous.
They're just beautiful.
How big was the original Craighead property?
Originally it was 290 acres from West End Avenue or Harding Road to Charlotte Pike.
And this was the airport?
The back, which was where the original McConnell Field was, Nashville's first airport. And this is just sort of a tribute to that.
There's such interesting history in this house as well as the garden. Tell me about this portion of the house.
Well, the back part of the house was where it all happened. You know, that's where they did all the work. But originally, probably 1806, this was a brick kiln. It was a beehive kiln. It was probably 16 feet tall, and this is where all the clay was gathered at Richland Creek, and the bricks were fired in this kiln to build this house.
And so then the kiln eventually was turned into a fountain?
It was. It was rediscovered in the 70s and turned into a water feature.
You grow everything here, don't you?
We do, and this is a very special part of the property because for many years, as we've discussed, people had to grow their food, and now we don't have to, but we do. And this is sort of where we get our salads from, and broccoli and cabbage and different things, sometimes all winter. Some of these lettuces and different things last all winter long.
Nice. And this was the site of the original kitchen on the property?
This was the site of one of the kitchens, and what we've done is use the foundation blocks that we found as we excavated this piece of the property as steps and walls and different things around.
You have quite a bit of shade around the property. Tell us how you achieved this kind of a natural look in your beds here.
Well, for me it's easy because I'm sort of a natural gardener anyway. I like to plant and experiment and see what's going to work where. And these plants get some sun, but mostly shade. For instance, the Japanese iris, Caesar's brother, is in full bloom right now.
They are spectacular.
Typically it grows in the sun, and here it's just really a magic plant.
What advice do you have for shade gardening?
Try it.
And if it
works, if it doesn't work, put it somewhere else.
Yeah.
If it works, plant more of it.
You can learn so much in a garden like this, and this garden is even in the Smithsonian?
It is in the Smithsonian. It's part of the Archives of American Gardens. As of last year, my friend Meryll and Lovell with the Garden Club of Nashville did that, and it's recognized in the Smithsonian online now in the archives.
Why is that so important?
It's important because what their objective is to have many gardens there for people in the future to learn how American gardens were established and how they were designed.
Well, I loved learning from you today, and I now have a severe case of garden envy, I'm afraid. Thank you so much, Steve. I really appreciate the tour.
It was fun.